In this video, we're going to answer the question, what is going on in the Milwaukee metro housing market in the end of 2022 here in December, and what can we expect for 2023? My name is Jacob Sheets, your Wisconsin realtor, and on this channel, we provide valuable information on the Wisconsin housing market for buyers and sellers, grow our team of realtors both locally and globally through the eXp Realty Wolfpack, and showcase the incredible community that is Wisconsin. And at the end of this video, after going through all the stats, I'm going to give my opinion on what I think is going to happen the first couple of months of 2023 and also throughout the entire year. And as a very quick reminder, if you do want to work with me and my team directly, go ahead and reach out below. We have our contact information and Calendly link to hop right into a calendar, and go ahead and ring our notification doorbell below so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and subscribe. Let's get into it. So up first, we have our year-over-year review of the market statistics. I like to put this up here first because we can see the average sales price is $345,000, which we'll see in some other charts later. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this, and we can take a look here. So taking a look at the November statistics, we have active listings at 2,526 compared to last year's 3,119. That is down 19%, so that's meaning less on the market. And again, as a quick reminder, all that matters for you as the buyer and seller is supply and demand, okay? So are there more or less houses coming in the market? Are there more or less people that are looking for houses in the market? And that's all we really need to take away from all of these numbers and everything, okay? So let's just keep that in mind as we go forward. The active listings down 19%, meaning that there is actually less on the market available for people to look at than there was last year. Sold listings, 1,166 in November compared to last year's of 1,737. That's a pretty big difference. It's like 600-ish less. That's total sold listings, 32.9% down. So what does that mean? There's less sellers here that want to sell, but also less buyers that also want to buy. So why was that? Well, we know interest rates were a lot higher than they've ever been for the past 2 years. Not so much historically, but the past 2 years, getting up to that kind of 7% range, it has slowed down the market. I mean, intentionally, the Fed did that so it would slow it down. But now we can kind of see by the statistics, both active listings went down. I would expect sold listings to also go down about the same amount, but they went down drastically more as far as for a percentage. But if you look at the actual numbers, this went down 600 active listings, right? And then sold listings went down about 600 sold listings. So nothing too super crazy. This is a higher percentage, but in relative terms, it's about the same. Now looking at the median price per square foot, we did go up in median price per square foot of $173 per square foot. As a reminder, average price of being about $345,000. That's up 5.2%. And then the months of supply, reminder, if there's 100 houses on the market that's sold last month, and there's 100 houses in the market right now, that's 1 month of inventory, because if nothing else new came to the market, all of the inventory would be gobbled up in 1 month. Balanced market would be 6 months worth of inventory historically, and right now we're sitting at 2.2 months of supply, and compared to last year's 1.8. That means we were going up in supply, more available for people to shop around at, but we're still really low, historically speaking. And that over 6 mark is usually when we would consider it a buyer's market, and below 6 months would be a seller's market. So when people are all freaking out, there's doom and gloom headlines out there all over the place. You know, nothing's going to sell anymore. We're going to have huge tanks in value. This needs to go way over that 6 months worth of inventory to really be a true buyer's market. So we're up 20% of inventory, numbers and percentages. It's scary, but now when we look at the actual relativity of it all, not that scary. Median days on market is 22 versus 24. It's very relative, pretty much the same. It went down 8.3%, but it's about where we're at. Things are moving very similar as far as time on market. Now let's take a look at the big picture of what's going on monthly in the Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Washington, and Waukesha County, so Milwaukee Metro. Breaking down, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this at a bigger picture, just broken down. First up, we have the new listings on market. So this is not what's sitting on market, but what's actively coming on. So it doesn't take into consideration the stuff that's not selling. So we have the ranges that are here going up and down, very, very normal. We can see right here going in from October to November, pretty large decrease. We have December, November, October, large decrease here, large decrease here, very large decrease here. So this is very normal. We're seeing less coming new onto the market. And what can we expect going into December? Right here, going into December going down, we can expect almost always going down, 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 down. So there's probably going to be still less coming on the market all throughout December, and then coming up, shooting back up into January, we go, oh, there's a whole lot more coming up. There's more coming in from December to January, from December to January. So look back here, December to January. There's a large increase going in because people want to get back on the market after all the snow's done, after the holidays are done, and people are ready to go. So that is what we have to expect this first couple of months. We'll probably see a whole lot more coming back on the market after January 1st. So what does that mean for you buyers and sellers? Buyers, if you are going out, there's going to be a lot less to pick from. And you're not going to have a whole lot more coming soon until January 1st or after. And then if we look right over here at these, this is going into January, February, March, April. This kind of January, February, March, April. March is when there's a lot more listings. So if you really, really, really want to wait for a whole bunch of inventory, wait during those timelines for new stuff coming on in March. However, if you want to beat that and you want to get a good deal because you know there's a low kind of a lag of stuff going on, right now would be a good time to go in. It's all about what your goals are, right? You want to get a good deal. Most likely is going to be in this timeline before a whole bunch of new inventory comes to market and buyers come out, right? Now, sellers, what does that mean for you? If you want to get on the market and you want to beat everyone else that's coming out to market, if you wait till March, you're too late because everyone else is also coming out in March. So if you want to come in just to beat inventory, that is going to be your goal. Now, if you want to just wait a little bit longer until more buyers come out, then you might, want to wait for the rest of the herd at the beginning of March, and then as you get a little bit later in the year, it becomes a little late. You're not going to be way behind the wagon, but you are not going to beat the rush, right? The rush is going to be coming in at this timeline, this first quarter. It's when we start to ramp back up into production. And next up, we have closed sales for the month of November. So we have normal trends right here going in from October to November. They're here October to November, small decrease. It's pretty much the norm, going almost all the way back every single year. So not too much to touch on here. The days on market until sale, we can start to see this going October to November is flat. October to November right here is going up a little bit. And we can see October to November is a pretty flat, going down a little bit. It's pretty consistent, so we're not seeing a huge change on how long houses are staying on the market. Median sales price, so we can see this coming up here compared to also average sales price, which is down here. Very, very similar, right? We have a small tick up in value, where we have here usually ticks down, not much going on. Quarter 4 is pretty flat, right? When we start to see a lot of our appreciation that comes into the market, we're going to see a lot more of that in the first and second quarter is going to be when it ramps up. And then from there, we kind of level out the rest of the year. That's just how it's been. It comes up, levels out, comes down a little, comes up, levels out, comes up, levels out, and it just slowly goes upward. Now here's our percentage of original list price versus what is received. So list to sale price ratio. As a reminder, if we look right here, this is 100%. So if you listed for 100,000 and you sold for 100,000, that'd be 100%. And down here is 98%, which is right about where we are sitting at, 98.3. You want to take a look right there. So if you listed at 100,000, you'd be getting $98,000 and $300 for your property. Of course, just on average. So what this means is that we can see here from November into December is flat. November to December is pretty flat. So we can kind of expect most likely the rest of the year will be around that 98% on average. That's going to be my guess coming in. Yeah, even maybe down a little bit more than that. And then coming back up almost every other year. Going into January, we also have a decrease of what's actually getting because this is actually closed. So Usually this is about a month delayed, right? So the things that are closing right here in January usually get under contract in December. So things that get under contract in December are almost always going to be lower than this asking price or the lowest time of the year, because most people, there's not a lot of action going on. Now then, what will end up most likely happening back after January, coming up to February and March, we'll start to see a price increase. That's because now new buyers are coming back on the market. We're getting a little bit more inventory, but those buyers that are beating the market, right, they're beating out all these things that are going on. There's a little bit of a lag, right, where buyers start to come out of the woodwork a little bit and inventory is just starting to get on market, but there's not a big frenzy or a large burst of inventory. So this is where it starts to be like, okay, you can still get a few more deals, buyers, but then everyone starts coming out of the woodwork. Snow is melting. People start thinking about it in that March timeline. So, you know, if you want to get ahead of it, both from a buyer and a seller perspective, that first quarter is a really good time to jump into the market before things get kind of crazy. And next up, we have inventory of homes. So again, this is the total amount of homes that are in the market. We don't see a huge spike. We are seeing this very, very, very normal in the amounts of homes that are available. Right here, we maybe see a little bit less of a downtick than previous years. My estimation is that when the stats come back out for December, we're probably going to see about the same, follow these same trends. The big thing is if there's going to be foreclosures or other increased rates. Right now, rates are now going back down a little bit, which is going to be nice. And I think that this is going to follow a very similar pattern what we see these past 2 years. Now going into the months of supply and inventory, our last slide here, we have everything. You can see this is the 2 month worth of inventory. Historically, we were just barely going over that. It's very interesting actually, because right here we have a downward tick going into November, downward tick going into November, and then really a very consistent large downward tick going into December. Large downward tick, large downward tick. So my guess is it's going to dip again beneath that when we have reports coming back up for the December market in full when it's complete, and then it's going to go back up a little bit more. I estimate that it's going to be going up a little bit more than we've seen in this past here, going up into 2, almost into 3 months worth of inventory. That's where I think it's going, mainly because of with the rates going into this busy season and just kind of how I've been seeing how my clients have been acting. A lot of people are just tapping the brakes a little bit more and they're just saying, I want to hold off. So that's both my personal, feeling of the market, me being in it, and also what I see in the stats. So what are my thoughts and opinions of what's going on and the rest of December and into the new year? December, I think, is going to be very, very cool, literally. But also, with the housing inventory that's going to be available, it's going to be going down, in my opinion. And then when we come back up, it's going to be coming into the new year with potentially a lot more inventory, but not until March, okay? I don't think it's going to be anything abnormal than we have in the past years, but I do believe that the appreciation is going to be dampened from what we've seen in previous years that have been, some will say artificially inflated, some will say naturally inflated, just by the way that things have been going with COVID and all the stimulus that's been going into the market. So instead of seeing 10, 20% appreciation per year, the normal average, taking everything into consideration, is anywhere from 4 to 6%. 6 is usually actually stretching it. So kind of 2, 4, maybe 6% is usually an average return for your home values going up, just with everything rounded out. But now my estimation is that we're probably going to go into a year that we might see a little bit closer to that 2 to 4. I'm guessing even closer to 2%, if not a decrease in value of around 2%, depending on where you are. If you're in a very low inventory market that a lot of people are really sought after, then yes, I think you will be at that around 2% appreciation, maybe up to 4%. Less desirable, just kind of average market, kind of flat line. And then if you have a less desirable market or there's a lot of inventory around you, I could see it. I could buy into a little bit of a dip in value, but not some crash. Mainly because we don't see a lot of upticks in foreclosures. We don't see a lot of upticks in inventory coming soon. And with rates kind of steadying out right now about that kind of 6-7% rate mark, I don't think you have anything to hit the panic button about. So, did you enjoy this video? I have a question for you real quick. what would you like to see in future market updates? If you made it this far, it means that you actually like my content and you were watching all the way through. So go ahead and comment below, what do you want in future videos? I have more stats than this, okay? I have it broken down by community. So if you want to see it in just Cedarburg, in Grafton, in Milwaukee, in Whitefish Bay, New Berlin, whatever you want, I have that information, but I just want to keep it succinct, big picture, so that we don't, bore people with all of the extra stats. Now I also have it broken down by, let's say, community price points, right? So if homes in the Milwaukee metro area up to 100,000, 200, 1 million, 1 to 2 million, 3, I have all of those stats that are available. So go ahead and write below what you'd be interested in. Thank you for watching. Reach out if you want to work with us, and make sure to subscribe and ring notification doorbell. Thank you so much. Check out these videos. See you next time.